We are taught from childhood that uniform represents safety. We are told to trust the badge, but what happens when that badge is used as a hunting licence? Meet Cameron Ross. For 10 years he walked the streets as an officer for Police Scotland, but while he was serving the public, he was carrying out a campaign of terror. In 2012 and 2014 he raped 2 women in Stornoway. He didn't stop there, he moved to Inverness and abused a 3rd woman for 3 years. The most gut-wrenching part, he wasn't suspected until 2020. The public didn't know a predator was in their midst until 2024. For over a decade the system stayed silent while he wore the uniform. This isn't just about one bad apple. It's about a system that allows reports to sit in files for years while victims suffer in silence. If you believe these stories need to be told to prevent the next one, subscribe to help us break the silence. Is it just bad hiring? Or is there something about the culture of the uniform that protects these men for so long? We saw it in Scotland and now we see it in Northamptonshire. If the case of Cameron Ross is about duration, the case of Wissem Bonafia is about the terrifying scale of depravity. Bonafia was a special constable in Northamptonshire. In 2020, police raided his home in Barton Seagrave after receiving intelligence about illegal images. They seized his devices and found a nightmare. Hundreds of images and videos of girls as young as prepubescent age. The worst part? Bonafia didn't just find these, he was the one behind the camera. But the system moved slowly. It wasn't until 2022, 2 years after the initial raid, that he was arrested again and hit with the full weight of his actions. We're talking about 27 original charges: rape, assault and child exploitation. And Bonafia didn't go quietly. He didn't just break the law. He was charged with trying to prevent the course of public justice, trying to manipulate the system he once sworn to protect. He pleaded guilty to some charges to save himself, but the jury saw through the rest. After a 2-week trial in 2026, he was found guilty of 12 more offences. On June 26, the hammer finally fell. 22 years behind bars. A massive sentence, yes, but remember, this began in 2014. It took 12 years for justice to finally catch up with a man behind the badge. Did you notice the pattern? In case 1, it took a decade for the system to act. In case 2, it took 2 years between the first raid and the final charges. This is the silent crisis. It's not just that these men exist, it's that the institutions meant to catch them often move at a snail's pace. Why are these intelligence reports sitting on desks while predators stay on the streets? Tell me your theories in the comments. While some sentences reflect the gravity of the crime, others feel like a secondary betrayal. Meet McKenna, formerly of the police service of Northern Ireland. In December 2025, a jury found him guilty of gross indecency against a child, a crime committed years before he ever wore the uniform. But the shadow of his actions followed him into his career. The PSNI suspended him immediately once the report came in, eventually dismissing him from the force. But here's the part that will make your blood boil. For an act that a judge admitted had a significant impact on a child's life and memories, a crime that stole a childhood, McKenna was sentenced to just 1 year in prison. 1 year for the predator, a lifetime of memories for the survivor. He'll be on the sex offenders register for a decade. The question remains, how many more are hiding in the ranks with secrets from their past? Cameron Ross got 10 years. Wissem Bonafia got 22, but for the victims there is no end to the sentence. These cases prove that the silent crisis isn't just a lack of resources, it's a lack of accountability. Is the system doing enough to weed out these predators? Or is the badge still being used as a shield? I want to hear your verdict in the comments. Let's make some noise for those who were forced to stay silent.